Now we are.
Everybody, here's Ball Sprout. Yeah, with me, Ball Sprout.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning. The walking, no one that's in here yet. Oh, good morning, everybody. I'm going to kind of stick around and wait on some people to show up. Hopefully, a few people do. Oh, there is somebody. Well, hello, somebody, whoever you might be. I don't know yet because your comment, if you made one, oh, Off Kilter Homestead. Good morning. Hello. It just made it into the chat box here. Well, thanks for stopping by. Glad to have you. And whoever else is stopping in here, if you don't mind, you sound off too. Good morning, whoever you are. And as soon as you pop up, I'll call you out by name. Excuse me. Grab a drink here. I apologize for. Oh, goodness. You're not supposed to be in Malachi's profile. So I got Little Sprout behind the scenes. Go do what you're doing and come back and get on your own profile. Little Sprout behind the scenes there. And you love how 5-year-olds can't seem to follow directions. Would you happen to have your name on Facebook as Hoss something? I just want to make sure I'm talking to the right person. I think it's who I'm talking to. I'm not real great at being able to put names and faces from Facebook with their channels yet. There's a few, of course, but not a whole lot. Well, let me just start out. I have a few people that I put in my title because they showed some interest in being a part of this collaboration / challenge. So let me start out by showing. I got items from 3 places that I want to put together that I wanted and have put together as a prize package for the winner of this challenge. Now, I welcome anybody who follows a keto diet to be a part of this collaboration, even if you don't want to partake in the challenge. Maybe you just like to show off what you make for dinner, as an example, one night that's keto. Or maybe you want to talk about why you follow the keto diet. Maybe you've already lost all the weight you can lose, but you follow the keto diet further because it helps with the inflammation reduction in your body, among the other health benefits that are being discovered more and more every day. But I have put together a prize package because this is a challenge for a few of us who are, shall we say, a little hefty. We all know round's a shape. It's not necessarily a shape we want our bodies in. So the challenge is going to be highest percentage of body weight lost. Not number of pounds. I don't care how many pounds you lose. How much is your percentage of body weight lost? So I woke up this morning and I weighed myself and I came in at a whopping 305 pounds. Let me correct that. That was with my clothes on. I took my clothes off and I was 302 pounds. So percentage of body weight, therefore, every 1 pound I lose, 1.02 pounds, if you want to get technical, that I lose is 1% of my body weight. So the challenge is percentage of body weight lost. I want to run this collaboration until the 15th of February. And in a minute, I think everybody will understand why. That is a 3-month period that helps us hold each other accountable through the holiday season. I know a lot of people really struggle with being on any kind of diet period other than the SAD diet, SAD, standard American diet. And everybody sees what it's doing to our bodies. We're all getting fatter. Our cholesterol's up, our heart disease up, etc., etc. So we want to try to combat that. Well, and especially in the homesteading community, why is everybody being a homesteader? Well, the general consensus is I want healthier. Well, healthier food going in your body is great when you make it on your own, etc., etc. But what else? Well, another part of that, I guess, is a better way to say it, is that I am going to be losing weight. Good morning to Family Homestead. Glad to have you along. So the challenge is going to go to February 15th, and we'll go in a little more detail once you. Little Sprout says hello. He's in the background. He's going to be popping in and out, I'm sure, and we're going to hear him ask questions and whatnot because he's playing his daily hour of video games at this point in time. So anyway, without further ado, let me get into what the prize is going to be, and you will almost immediately understand why February 15th is going to be the cutoff date. I made an order from Baker's Creek Seeds of ketogenic diet friendly seeds. Kale, one type of squash, zucchini. Can you get that for me, Bum? Another type of zucchini. A type of lettuce. Some peppers. And when you order from Baker's Creek, you get a free additional. So this one is free gift dill bouquet. Oh, I missed the package. Spinach. That's what I ordered from Baker's Creek as a part of the prize package. I need you to stop for a minute. Okay. Then I ordered from MI Gardener some more seeds. Cabbage. Tomatoes. Cucumbers. Good try. They do look similar, don't they? Lettuce. Green beans. So I have a grand total. I had it already figured. Now I've forgotten. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A dozen different plants, seeds from Baker's Creek and in my garden are combined. That is 2 of the 3 things. Miss Sherry says hello to you, Little Sprout, that she hears you saying hi. The third thing I ordered, to me, it's super exciting. I've been wanting one for years, and I keep forgetting to order it. So when I ordered this, I ordered 2. So I can have one, and you can have one. Oh, I wish my lighting was better in here. There it is, Clyde's Garden Planner. So, to the person or channel who loses the greatest percentage of their body weight by February 15th will win those dozen packs of seed in a Clyde's Planner. And good morning, TNS Dogs and Dragonflies Farm. So, okay, ketogenic diet for the next approximately 3 months. Why did I pick February 15th? Well, in general, in our country, if we wrap this up on February the 15th and so has lost the most weight, and I can get these seeds and the planner in the mail pretty much right away, which I will, you would have it by 20th of February at the latest. Well, that gives you plenty of time to get your seeds in the ground, because some of these are early and some of them are a little longer, but you'll be able to get them in the ground in time to make the best use of them. In fact, some of the seeds, for example, the spinach and lettuce, can be planted early and then late. Of course, I would let you you would make your own decisions about when, where to plant what. But I think that I should say that some of us really struggle with staying on any kind of diet, as said earlier, other than the SAD diet, standard American diet. Oh, good morning, Reap What You Sow. I'm glad to have you all here today. But let me jump back in and just make this official. There are a few channels who know this is coming, and there are other channels who are going to do different parts of this collaboration. And I want to tell you all straight out, I appreciate you coming along for the ride, no matter what role you play. But I specifically want to challenge Jason from Big Bear Homestead. He and I have discussed this. I'm not going to go into anything that is his reasoning, other than to say at one point on a live, he said he wanted to be a part of this diet. This was approximately May, June of this year. And when I saw him at the HOA, he said he failed miserably. And in that same live, he had said he wanted somebody to challenge him. And long story short, I couldn't get the challenge made. So I saw him at the Homesteaders of America conference, talked to him about it, and we're going to do this. So I'm challenging you, Jason, over the next 3 months. Let's stay on diet through Thanksgiving, through Christmas, and all of the gorging ourselves that normally happens within our country, at least, at these holidays, first of the year.
What about Thanksgiving? I
said Thanksgiving. Let's stay on this diet and hold each other accountable. And listen, I'm going to struggle probably more than you. Two Family Homestead. Sherry, you said you wanted to be involved, and I noticed that you said you're cooking sausage cooked and making chaffles right now. I'll be there in about 2 hours for my breakfast. And then one other person specifically asked me to challenge them, and I want to make sure that I say their name right. Not that it's hard to say. I'm just forgetful as can be. Melissa from Dixie Living Homestead. Consider yourself challenged. What I would like to do with this collaboration is, those of you who are challenged, anyone else who wants to be involved, make up a video and say, I accept your challenge. Make up a video and say, I want to be involved. It doesn't matter. I'm not being real picky about it. And let me host a playlist, and you're welcome to host the same playlist or a different playlist, whatever the case may be. And it's an on your honor system. If you want to put your weights out there, I started at this many pounds. Great, do it. I did. There were a few of you not in here, and I'll just state that I started this morning back onto the diet, and before I ate anything, I weighed 302 pounds.
302 pounds?
302 pounds. You do not have to put that out there if you don't want to. I will trust you to keep track of your weight and say at the February 15th date, I lost 3%, 10%, 20%, whatever the percentage is. And just be honest about it. That's all I ask. Would like to do maybe weekly weigh-ins. It doesn't necessarily have to be every Saturday morning, but somehow work a video in, or work into your video about, hey, it's Saturday again, and I did my keto diet all week. I followed it great. This week I've lost 3 pounds, 5 pounds, 7 pounds, whatever it is. Maybe that would be a good time to record a video of one of your keto meals. Miss Sherry, I'm going to use you as an example, and I hope that's okay, but you typed in here you're making the sausage, or you cook sausage and making chaffles. Maybe people don't know what chaffles are, and you could show them how to make chaffles in a video. Just an idea. Again, it doesn't have to be perfectly that. I'm just throwing ideas out there. I would like to make it interesting. I would like ideas from other people of how to make it interesting. This is the first time I've been in a collaboration, and here I am trying to run one. I think I'll probably put the cart before the horse, but I'm going to do it anyway. The reason behind the challenge, though, reap what you sow. You'd said, "Ouch, that's a challenge." I agree that's a challenge, and that's part of why we're doing it is because it's a challenge. And two family, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, was to do a keto friendly cookie when I said the other night that I'd like to join your challenge, or that I might join your challenge. I just have to look it up and find a recipe for it. Some of the things I'm going to do, again, I'm going to do approximately every week. I'm going to do an update video with, I've lost X number of pounds this week. Something else, I'd like to challenge. I'm challenging myself directly right now. And those who are going to be involved in the challenge, I would like to challenge you to as well. If you struggle, maybe Thanksgiving is a hard holiday for you, man, because it is for me. My favorite food in the world is stuffing or dressing, whatever you want to call it. And that's really the only time well, I can have it at Christmas too, Christmas, Hanukkah. The big meals of the year, but Thanksgiving is the first one. It's after a long stretch of not having it, and so, man, I want some stuffing. Yeah, generally speaking, stuffing is not on the keto diet. Make it with a keto bread is what I'm looking at trying to do. I just hope that, well, when I go to grandma, she doesn't make it with keto bread. But take my point. I failed this week, and here's why. And I challenge you to even look at beforehand. I already know I struggle with stuffing at Thanksgiving, and I already know what I'm going to do to help myself get through that. But I think our challenges can help each other. I think our challenges can help other people that we don't know if we're open to, well, frankly, being vulnerable about it. I already have an idea for my next video in reference to keto. Well, I should say my next video that is not a specific weigh-in video. And it's something that I kind of came to the realization of 4, maybe 5 days ago. I'm not going to sit here and try to figure it out, but it was less like I said something and it kind of hit me like somebody might as well have taken a spade shovel and cracked me in the head with it. Because as soon as I said it, I was like, wow, this is wow. And so I'm going to put that out there. Yeah, I was wondering that too, but I try not to call people out, Sherry, about who's not speaking or anything, because there's times I go into lives and I don't speak, mostly because I'm trying to listen and I'm like captivated, and then I look over and I'm like, oh, it's been forever since I've said something. Anyway, so the keto challenge, roughly once a week, kind of weigh in updates, maybe some meals that you make, and maybe some snacks that you make. I know myself and quite a number of other people, we snack between foods, between meal times. And if you snack on the right things, and you still, I mean, you can't go out there and eat 15 or 20,000 calories worth of keto-friendly food and still expect to lose weight. But you can have snacks if they're right. And so that said, y'all saw the prize package. You know what the challenge is, and I'm going to rename Sherry from Two Family, Jason from Big Bear Homestead, Melissa from Dixie Living Homestead. Consider yourselves challenged to lose the greatest percentage of body weight between now and February 15th. And if you guys from those channels, especially that are named, If you know of others, feel free to tag them, challenge them, call them out, however you want to say it. Let us help each other lose some weight. Let us shrink in some ways, grow in other ways. Let us help each other. I don't know that I have an hour's worth of stuff to say. I would like to thank you all for being here. I would like to. Golden flake pork rinds are incredible. Worth an order for all you Yankees. I'm offended by being called a Yankee. And if you'll believe that, I've got a bridge to sell you. There is not a better brand I've found in my shirt. I am not a big fan of pork rinds to just eat, out of the bag. I actually can handle that. One of the keto recipes I'll make uses pork rinds as a, and Sherry just said it. One of the recipes I follow is Parmesan chicken. Has zucchinis. I run it through my, however you pronounce it, my vegetable noodle maker, Vegeta or Vegetal, or I don't even know what it's called. I've got a Ninja, so I run a bag full of pork rinds in there and throw some Parmesan cheese in there. So I got chicken Parmesan. It's delicious. I make it with, instead of, some people use a tomato sauce, I use a fettuccine sauce on it, and it's pretty banging. That's one of the videos I'll make as far as a meal that I've made for keto friendly foods. I'll make a video of either myself or Mama Sprout making some fat bombs. People hear that and get scared. Listen, keto is a higher fat diet. It is a moderate protein diet. It's a low carb diet. But when we say high fat, we don't mean, oh my goodness, let's go bash some saturated fats. Let's go bash the fats that aren't good. Yes, there's some dairy fat in it, but you also have to have some olive fat, some nut fat, some avocado fat. But do some due diligence on your own. I can't sit here and it's up to you to do your own thing ultimately. Yes, that's true. It is great. And I cannot eat the recipes mostly call for like 4 ounces of meat. I usually look, I'm a big dude. 4 ounces of meat is nothing to me. So I usually run it up to about 6 to 8 ounces of chicken for that specific recipe. And when I put the Alfredo on it and I have the squash noodles, I cannot eat the whole thing. So that actually works out to be my lunch the next day as well. So it's really a nice, I enjoy being able to make one meal and make it work for 2 or 3 meals. So those are just some ideas. If anybody who wants to be involved in the collaboration, they just want to talk about, like as mentioned in the beginning, I am on keto for life, and here's why. I've already lost all my weight, but this is why I stay on it. And then they talk about X, Y, and Z. That is great. Like I said, let's educate each other. Let's help each other out. Let's be supportive of each other. Obviously, if we can grow our YouTube channels a little bit from it, great. But really, for me, that is a minimal point in this. I need help losing about 100 pounds, maybe not quite 100, but close to 100 pounds. And some other people have said that as well. So let's lose some weight together while experiencing some of the other benefits of keto. And I'm going to say something else about keto here. A lot of people are scared of keto, and I'm not going to go into my thoughts on why, but I'm going to say that in South Africa, they're doing a lot of studies. And in one of my shortly coming videos about the keto collaboration here, I will have a link for people to watch that if you're Amazon members, to watch some of that documentary about some of the studies that are going on. And I don't care if you mention Monday evening, Miss Sherry. I don't exactly know what you're asking, but I have no problem. I don't care what you do for your channel, for your health and your channel, what you need to do. I don't care, for example, if I'm named it, hey, Loma Acres has challenged me and this is an update video. I don't, would be oh yeah, that's fine. Cause I think the more people involved, the better. I'm fine with it. But going back to what I was saying, since I kind of took your question a little differently than you intended, I don't care. Do what you have to do for your health and your channel in reference to this challenge or this collaboration. I don't need you, for example, to name me in any video, let alone all of your videos. Reap what you sow. Thanks for stopping by, and whatever you're getting ready to go do, may you enjoy it to the nth degree. But yeah, I don't need you to say, Loma, this is the Loma Acres Challenge update video, and then in your next video, Loma Acres has challenged us to make a keto dish and video it. I don't need all that. I'm not against that. I welcome it, but that's not. This collaboration is let's help each other be accountable to stay on the diet. Period. And that's why I put together the seeds I bought. Are all keto friendly plants once they're grown and edible. It's all keto friendly stuff. And Clyde's planner is just to help you make sure you can get the most out of those. So that's where we're at. That's the challenge, collaboration, and I hope to see everybody wants to be involved and who's been challenged to get and stay involved and make a video here before long saying, I accept your challenge. That's the one thing I do ask. Hey, Loma Acres challenged me. I accept your challenge. Other than that, I don't even need that. I just would like that. Excuse me. I don't know. I hope I win so I can keep all these seeds. I'm just kidding. I actually, I'm going to stay on the diet. I'm going to do updates, but I am not trying for the. This is goofy. I shouldn't even have to say this, but then I'm going to anyway. I bought myself exactly the same thing. So for the spinach pack I got from Baker's Creek, I bought myself a spinach pack too. I'm already starting to plan next year's garden. Can you tell? Guys, I welcome any questions further. Ms. Sherry, you can mention that whenever. I think for the next couple of weeks, there's still plenty of time for people to get involved if they have not heard it, because I've really only posted about doing this in one place. I specifically emailed, talked to Jason at HOA, and then emailed them afterwards to verify they still wanted to be involved. And it is posted in the small YouTube group. That is the only place I posted this. Because the way I worded it in my post, I didn't want to word it and then put it in several different places and have called people out per se, and then have other people say, well, you said you were going to call me out. Well, I just did it there. I will post that in your group, and Off Kilter Homestead, you're more than welcome to join too. We talked a little bit about it, but a very little bit about it, and I'm glad you were here to hear what's going on. Please feel free. The way you worded that to all joining, I hope you win. It almost sounds like you don't take the challenge, and if you don't, that's fine. I hope you do. I don't know what it does. So I feel like I'm rambling. I don't want to ramble. Let's see. Just a quick homestead update, if you will. I closed up my bees for the year. In other words, I have put the cover under them. They have a screened bottom. I have covered that, and I have put their inch introducers in. I still have to, and will be doing very soon, get their candy boards made up and put on them. And then I will also be putting another box on top of that with some pine shavings to insulate the top. And I will get some straw bales around them to give them just a little more insulation. I'm trying to insulate them better this year than I did last year, so hopefully they won't have as much okay, Off Kilter, that sounds great.
Where do I get off?
We'll deal with that in a few minutes. You're fine. You've got a while. If I both add the candy board and insulation on top and then the insulation around the sides, hopefully they won't have to work as hard to stay warm, and therefore they won't have to eat as much. But even if they do need to eat as much, they'll have more food available and they won't starve out this winter like what happened to me last year. Messianic Truth, I do not eat a lot of pork myself. I understand where you're coming from, and I don't say pro or con. I understand the biblical laws in reference to pork, and I think that might be where you're coming from based solely on your name. Again, that is up to each individual person. Bee Lady Apiary, I'm very glad to have you here. Thanks for stopping by. Just a quick synopsis is we're doing a keto diet challenge, and those who accept the challenge in this collaboration are going to win a prize if they lose the greatest percentage of body weight. And the prize is a dozen packs of seeds, some from Baker's Creek, some from M.I. Gardner, and they're also going to win a Clyde's Garden Planner. So I think you're pretty much caught up. Took me 33 minutes to say all that before, and I said it to you in about 30 seconds. But we're glad to have you. Okay, so bees are closing up, and I will get a video put together once I get the candy boards ready to go. And then I will, the garden is shut down for the year. It's frosted, heavy frost the past couple days. So even if I wanted to keep it going, I didn't cover it. So we're done. I'm trying. I am. Yeah, I'm not. Again, to each their own. How they follow the keto diet. I understand some of the biblical laws about it. I understand some of the medical thoughts on it. But just because hey, I'm gonna open a can of worms. I did this when I was live with Two Family the other day, and it wasn't my intent, but it's what happened. So I'm going to open a political can of worms for just a quick second and say the medical community really pushes vaccines too. And there are a lot of people within and outside of the medical community that would say, this isn't exactly right. I'm not arguing whether or not a person should get vaccines or not. I'm just saying that the medical community thinks that they know X, and then 50 years down the road, they're like, yeah, maybe not so much. Well, there are some things that stay, obviously, but an example is exactly what we're talking about. The medical community started pushing starches as a main staple, fruits and vegetables, low meat, low fat. Yet here we are, roughly 60 years later, when they started pushing that. We're fatter than ever. We're higher heart disease than ever. Lung cancers and diabetes is through the roof. Alzheimer rates have gone up. Autism is going up, et cetera, et cetera. And we're looking at doing something different and finding positive results. The diabetics that are type 2 diabetics that are insulin dependent, that have started following this diet over a period of time are actually coming off of their insulin. Many people who are beginning stage Alzheimer's start following this diet and their symptoms decrease almost to the point of maybe it wasn't Alzheimer's. There are people on Parkinson that have Parkinson's disease that are going on this and seeing a significant reduction in their symptoms. There are severely autistic, or I guess children who are on the severe end of the autism spectrum, who after about a year of strictly following the keto diet are going from nonverbal, they're sliding themselves up the scale, the spectrum, not to where you wouldn't know there's something going on, but some of them, you're looking at them saying, there's something there, but I don't think it's autism. And all of that stuff is just from their diet. The other treatment that they're having is not been changed. Let's put it that way. And again, that's going to be on a video I link. I'll put my next video. I will put the link to this movie, this documentary about keto in the description of that one, and I'll remind everybody who watches it of that when I do it. Anyway, here we are, 40 minutes in almost, and I really appreciate everyone being here. I challenge everybody who's here, jump in on this for various reasons. Even if you've already been on keto and lost all the weight you can, jump in on this and help us stay accountable to each other, to you, help us with some of your recipes, things of that nature. And, guys, don't hesitate to ask questions. Don't hesitate to come up with some of your own ideas in reference to this. This is not a strict, rigid collaboration. I've seen some collabs where they are like, it's got to be this way, this long, and I don't care. Let's just keep each other or help each other get healthier, and we'll go from there. I've got a lot of ideas for the future of the. That would be wonderful, Sherry. I'd be glad to have it. And if it costs money, let me know that too. I mean, I don't know if you're just planning on sending me an email or if there's going to be an actual printed out booking. Don't hesitate to let me know if that's the case. I'll give it to you. All right. Sorry, I'm trying to somewhat stay up with comments. My family moderators are not on today to do that for me. Yeah, I'm trying to do something. I've been inactive of late on the YouTube, and this is one of those things that's going to help me kind of get back in. And good morning, Pete's Little Homestead. I hope you're doing well. Glad to have you in for a while. Okay. So keto diet challenge, you all have been challenged. Feel free to answer the challenge however you will and partake in the challenge. Bees are closed up for the year with a few exceptions. Garden's done for the year, and I've got some ideas coming for next year. There's the 40-minute synopsis. So unless there's more questions, Miss Sherry, you as far as your cookbook, like I said, if you're sending an attachment in an email or something, that'd be great. If you're going to print it out and it's actually like a book and you need to send it, don't hesitate to let me know. I'll cover costs without question. And I will try to, when I do a video, when I do a video with a recipe that I am following, I will put it in the description for anybody who may want to try it. Yes, bee lady apiary, I do have bees. I have a couple of hives in a couple of different places. I think if in some of my bee videos playlist,
we have some bees at an orchard.
We have some bees at an orchard. You will see if you happen to go back and follow some of the videos in my bees playlist that I am very thrilled to have bees. And I think that bees are probably the most important animal, or I guess if you want to get technical, insect on the earth. And they are an absolute calming job for me. I can come home from work and have just had the crappiest week. And it's beehive inspection day, and I can go out there and just at the snap of a finger, my whole demeanor changes, because I get in there and I see that ordered chaos, and I know that all they're trying to do is survive, but in them trying to survive, they're helping out everybody else. And that's the kind of life I want to live. I just want to survive. And if in just surviving, I can help other people, so we're kindred spirits. So yeah, I have a couple of hives, and I did see that you asked what state we're in. We are in Ohio. We are in the vicinity of 25 miles north of Dayton, Ohio, which is I would call it Southwest Ohio, but it is on the northern end of South. It's on the southern end of Central, depending on how you break it up. And I'd like to know how you wrap up your bees as well. I know that everybody, everybody that is a beekeeper probably has 2 or 3 different opinions on how to do X with bees. How do you wrap up your bees? Well, I wrap them up. This year am going to wrap mine on the top. I don't know if you were in here when I said on the top, I'm going to put a candy board, and then on top of that, I'm going to put maybe a small super filled with pine shavings. But then around the sides, I'm going to put bales of straw. Excuse me. But I've seen and heard people who just take felt paper, tar paper is what some people call it, and wrap it around it. And I'm not saying that doesn't work. It's black. It's going to draw the heat to it, and it's a wind block. But for me, I just don't know that I want to continue every year putting staples or nails into my bee boxes. Am I saying one is right and the other one is definitely wrong? No. Again, different ways of different beekeepers. So I'd like to see what you do as well. And now that I see that Daryl's making a joke, I should have known that. But no, everybody. I don't know what Reflexex is. I've never heard of that. If that is a bee specific item, well, yeah. Good morning, making lemonade from lemons. I would say your name, but I've heard. Is it Shayla? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I probably butchered it. Um, um, anyway, yeah, I keep bees. That's the first livestock animal I'm keeping as an adult. I say livestock. I could argue the point that they're not really livestock, such as cattle and chicken are. But the powers that be over my zoning say they are. And so I'm going to say it for that point. They're the first livestock I've kept as an adult. When I was a kid, we had rabbits and chickens, but and cattle. Let's not forget the moneymaker that we had was cattle. Um, Double-sided aluminum foil that is insulated inside. Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Not that I have used it. I just or even know where to get it, but I've got an idea of what it is now. I've just never heard the name of it. But yeah, I've got them, and they're one of the things that I don't want to give out too much because there's some things that are happening that maybe it's probably still going to be a few years. But at the same time, it's something that could happen next week. Um, um, yeah, we're considered solely residential. We're not allowed to have anything that's considered livestock. So what I may or may not have at my house may or may not be known to my neighbors and may or may not get me in trouble. Anyway, I don't want to. One of the things I do want to do when I get out of where I am now, and get more acreage, or even if it's not a much more acreage, but it's my own, is I really do want to develop beehives, not just a couple, but I want to have a lot. And by a lot, I mean my wife makes goat milk and honey, so I want to be able to provide her enough honey. I I mean we do have enough for that, but if she wants to grow her soap business to a lot more than it is, and the zoning board will not give us an exception. We've already tried, and they are just, that's it. This is the way it is, and that's that. The city I live in actually has a I don't know if you would call it an ordinance or it's a proposal at this point. They have one written up to start allowing certain livestock animals within the city limits, such as 5 or 6 chickens on a quarter-acre lot. There's other things considered, or other animals being considered on that proposal. The problem is, as far as my city is concerned, is that in the state house, our legislature has a bill that is approximately the same. It's slightly a larger scale. In other words, what the state house says is if you have 1 or more acres, then you cannot be denied the right, no matter the zoning, you cannot be denied the right to have 3 goats, 20 chickens, 20 rabbits, and several other animals. And not for what I'm talking about. Little Sprout, in case you didn't hear, just asked me what about cows. Hi, Broussards. Glad to have you here for a few minutes. Well, our city doesn't want to act on their proposal until the state decides what they're going to do with that proposal, because if the state does one thing and it's different than what the city has, then the city will have to change it, and that costs more money, considering the money they're already paying to do this. And I understand that. I do. It just, well, slow government. um, so that's why things are the way they are. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm breaking the law, but I may not be following it. What people don't know don't hurt them. It's just like whether or not we talked about vaccines a few minutes ago. That's a big thing that's going around. People are arguing to the nth degree. Get your kids vaccinated. No, don't get your kids. It should be mandatory. It never be mandatory. Hey, are my kids vaccinated? Who knows? I know. My wife knows. Their doctors know. But if you don't know, because it's none of your business, then you don't know. Well, it's just like that with what livestock I may or may not have. As long as you don't know, it's not your business. I don't know, B lady. I don't know what I said or what we were talking about exactly that brought that comment. Maybe checks with some channels on here in the community who live residential who have chickens as pets. Oh, I just had to read it out loud. I don't know. It may work. I'm not going to try. I actually live in a rental, and I don't want to do that right now anyway. If I were to do, well, I can't say too much on that. If I were to do any kind of livestock animals, they would be the kind that are easily able to be hidden and don't make a mess. I don't know how else to say it easily. I mean, most people, rightfully so, let their chickens out to free range, and they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't stay in my quarter acre. My landlord's pretty easy to get along with, though. As long as it's not illegal, he doesn't care what I do, and as long as I don't destroy his property, of course. But guys, I'm sorry. I'm trying to read comments and stay up quick. Miss Sherry, have a good day. Enjoy your soup, and I look forward to doing the rest of this collaboration with you, along with us and helping us. She said right on my chat that she's making soup. She's making hamburger soup. And Mr. Darrell, glad to have you along now. But guys, I'm just pets is one way folks get around it. I just don't think that would fly here. I agree with that. I agree with service animals could be a way around. Not that they should be. I think people who are getting service animals just to have an animal and be able to take it in the store or something, or I think that's ridiculous. But that's what you're doing. And I am presently on 1/4 of an acre. That's what I live on, and where I have some of my bees, there's 10 acres. And as far as the bees go, the homeowner there, he asked us to have bees out there because he's got when we started, it was 300 tree apple orchard that he runs. And he's got a total of 10 acres. He plans on putting in more trees, apple trees. In fact, this year I know he put in 50 more. He said, put as many hives out here as you want. And I've considered putting a lot more out there, but the thing is that I know I'm not going to stay where I am for a tremendously long time. And I don't want to move 100 hives off of someone else's land. If I move far enough away, I don't want to have to move the hives. Now, if I just move 2 or 3 miles, that'd be a different story, but I just don't know. the first year I had bees out there, he told me spraying imidon, I think is how you pronounce that, tonight, if you need to do anything with your bees. And I kind of didn't know. So I got on and researched some things, and I closed my bees up for a couple days. But yeah, he does spray. Now this year he did not. Of course, this year there was so much rain and so on and so forth, but he did not spray this year. Um, yeah, I stay in regular contact with him about what he's spraying and when, and I've actually asked him to. You want me to keep bees here? Great. Can we figure out a different spray? And I think that's part of why he didn't spray this year, but I don't know. But he did spray the first year. He did not spray this year. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those. Well, you're darned if you do, and you're darned if you don't, because I see both sides of this year. I want to do things for me and for mine as naturally as I can. I would like, when I plant my garden, one of the things I'm planning if I could spit this out, one of the things we're planning into our garden space this year is bug repelling flowers, and I want to stress this, but we're also trying to figure in what flowers we can put in there to attract bees. And so we're working a lot of things together. What can we companion plant together, where if we plant this here for food and this here for food, how will they help each other? And some of that stuff is how they refertilize back and forth. For example, the three sisters: corn, beans, and squash. The beans fertilize back into the ground for the corn. That's one of the things they work together so well. And then the squash keeps the weeds out. Well, one of the things we're considering is what plants repel bugs from the other ones too. Also, one of the things we're doing is we're putting bat houses up to help with bug control and things like, track the bats, attract the right kind of bugs, and then the bad bugs will be taken care of. And we got a lot of planning to do. Right, bee lady. The beans fertilize the ground for the corn. The corn provides structure for the beans to climb up, and then the squash. The squash is more of a ground plant. It helps weed reduction. Well, are you scared of bats because something's ever happened, if you don't mind me asking, or is it just a psychological thing because of how they're portrayed in movies or whatever? Because I promise you, bats are more scared of you than you are of them.
That's why
I don't know. I don't know if they have any of those out yet, Daryl.
Because they bite you.
Okay. I love having bats around. When I can go out and look up in the sky, that's one of the things that I look for. I look up in the sky in the evening and I see bats flying. Here I am looking up at my ceiling, pretending I'm looking at the sky. When I am out and I look up at night and I see bats, I see something. Okay, there's something more. The more natural cycle of life is happening here, and that. Bats in the sky at night, earthworms in the ground when I dig, and bats in the evening again. And the ability to have a garden and have my bees. Those are things that I look for. Or I should say I am looking for as I move forward in life. That's one of the things our channel is about is we are going to transition into a permanent and bigger homestead. And some of the things we're looking for are those things. Worms in the ground is huge in my opinion. If you don't have any worms, you're not getting any natural fertilization. Sorry, my phone's going off over here. All right, so bee lady, I Papa Sprout has 4. Papa and Mama Sprout together have 3. Um, all of my children are males. 2 of them are full-grown men by age, by size, by maturity level. Um, the eldest is, what year is this? He'll be 21 in May. Is that right? I don't even know what year this is. There's something wrong with me. He'll be 21 in May. My next oldest will be 19 in, he'll be 20 in February. 16-year-old, and he just turned 16. And then we had a nice little stretch in between. We needed our babysitters to grow up a little bit. Now we got a 5-year-old.
The 5-year-old is little.
I don't know that I'll have all of them when I get more land, but I hopefully that came out horrible. I don't know if they'll be living at home or around when we get our land. They are their own men. Making lemons from lemonade, in reference to your comment there, I would suggest not only maybe having bee houses and bat houses and things like that to help with your mosquitoes, but plant some items, maybe the flowers in your flower beds if you have them, or maybe interspersed in your garden. But if you plant some flowers that draw dragonflies in, that would be quite helpful to get rid of mosquitoes as well. Dragonflies, I have read, I don't know this to be factual, I've never done experience, but I have read a single dragonfly will eat up to 100 mosquitoes a day. That'll put a dent in the mosquito population. Bee Lady, you are exactly right. I grew up a little more in the city than on the farm because my parents were divorced and my dad's family is who had the farm. And then when I got to, I spent some time on the farm, obviously, but I thought living in suburbia was it for me for the longest time. And I always had a hole in my heart. And now that my kids are here, and I just felt, basically I listened to people, not my heart. And people, education is better here, and your kids need the society and the social interaction and so on and so forth. And I wished I had listened to my heart. I didn't. I would be back out on a farm, maybe not grandma's farm, maybe grandma's farm. I don't know, but I definitely want to get out in the country, and I want my kids to get back out in the country. But my oldest two they're not. They're kind of like, I want to live in suburbia. I could adapt to country. I could adapt to city. I think I would do better adapting to country. I think you're right. I think when they get older and they have children, they're going to say, yeah, let me get out of here. I understand the draw of the city. And I was drawn to it right until I got there. And then suburbia was it for me for a while. And honestly, some people are going to think this is goofy, but part of me fought my heart call to go out in the country and be a homesteader, because I didn't think my wife would be interested in it. I thought she was more the city person, and she is a nurse, and we gotta live close enough to where she can work, and there's no way and there were some other things, like when we were young and crazy, she likes to go clubbing and things like that. You can't do that out in the country. Not out in the country where I went. Anyway, it took her actually to start making soap and a few other things, and I kind of discussed this in my very first live. I finally just told her this is what I want to do. She kept telling me, decide what you want to do when you grow up. And I thought, man, I want to be a construction worker and run my own construction business, which is what I do now. Um, and then I go through times where I don't like this, and I even running my own business, um, I don't really like it that much. Hi, Farm in Our Backyard. Glad to have you, Nathan, Jerry, whichever one or both of you happen to be here. We're glad to have you. Um, anyway, I would go through a time where I wanted to be a construction worker, and that's what I want to do, and I'm going to go to school and get this degree in construction or whatever. Then a time where I think I want to be a pastor, uh, and I kind of study in that, some of the free schools in that. And then there's I want to be a farmer. And I would go for a while. I wanted to be a chef, in the New York City restaurants, 5-star, 3 Michelin star. That's the kind of chef I want to be. And I'd go for 3 or 4 years on each one, and then I'd cycle back to another one. And I think my wife knew my heart was to be in farming, and she kind of started doing things farming homestead related, and it just let me know that it was okay. I just really thought that was something she wasn't going to accept, and I would give up my dreams to make my wife happy. That's just who I am, and that's how much I love her. So I just didn't consider it. And when I saw her she taught herself how to spin wool into yarn. She taught herself how to knit. She taught herself how to make that soap. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. I bet everybody in here has heard about her soaps already. She taught herself how to make that. When I saw her doing that stuff, and then she started showing just the slightest bit of interest in gardening, and I was like, you know what? This may not be as much of a contentious, divisive subject as I thought. And now she is just as on board. She actually would like, as she's starting back in school in January to go for an advanced or graduate degree and become a nurse practitioner over the next couple years. She actually would like to be able to not do anything in the medical field. If we could have, in any way, shape, or form, make her soaps take off, she would step out and do that. Well, that's what she said. Of course, then she's like me a little bit. Then the next day, well, no, I think I want to stay. I just want to advance in the medical field. But I did notice your comment, B Lady, about being a construction worker is valuable. It is. That you're right. That knowledge is like gold. There's no question about it. I wish it paid more like it was worth gold prices, but it's not. But anyway, I don't want to ramble all day. I could. So anyway, having had a little bit of farm experience, I making lemonade from lemons. What I'm trying to make your comment make sense. So, not that it doesn't make sense, but what does homeschooling your boys have to do with an ability or inability to live on farmland? Or was that just a totally different thought? Just curious. Pardon me, I gotta move a little bit. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, and then B Lady, yeah, she does plan on keeping her license no matter what, and I know I would save a lot of money. It just depends on how much it pays. Depends on what kind of construction versus the size of your crew and so on and so forth. So Okay, all right, making lemonade from the. Ooh, if I could talk, I'm trying to do it live, y'all, and I can't talk. It just goes great, doesn't it? As I was gonna say, I homeschool my boys too. Well, presently just the younger two because the older two are done with school. And the way that comment read to me, and I'm sure I didn't see some of the conversation before that. It read to me like you were saying, I can't live out on the farm because I homeschool my kids. So I apologize. I was going to say, no, that doesn't make any difference at all. But evidently that's not what you were saying. So, all right, guys. So I'll be glad to stay on a few more minutes and answer more questions if you have them. I got on with the intention of presenting the challenge, and that was it. But the way things go is the way things go, and I'm glad to have stayed on with everyone. Hello, Samson Farms, Mr. Nathan. How are you? Glad to have you on for a few minutes. Anyway, guys, the challenge was and stays keto challenge. 15th of February is the last, or hey, this is the final weigh-in. This is what my percentage of weight loss is, and whoever's got it gets the packets of gold that I showed earlier in the video. And I think that's about got it wrapped up for the day, y'all. I've been jibber jabbering for longer than I ever thought I would. An hour and 11 minutes so far. I would like to start closing it up by saying to everyone, please go through the channels that are in the chat. Give them a look, and if they are something you might be interested in, subscribe to them. Let's support each other. Our moderators that have been on today, I thank you very much. You guys are wonderful for being willing to do this for us. I hope that everybody who's wishy-washy about this collaboration, if you were here to see about it and you're still thinking about it, don't hesitate to ask me questions, whether you make further comments on here or our collaboration videos, whether you send me a message on Facebook through my Loma Acres Homestead page, through my personal page, whatever the case may be. I'd be glad to answer them. I will also say that I am in full agreement that there's not one diet that's going to work for the whole world. There are many channels who are working on the juicing diet. That doesn't work for me. In case you didn't hear that, because I got kind of quiet, it doesn't work for me. But it seems to be working for some of those who are doing it. Great. I know that there are a few people. For me, so far this year, just for the record, I started out at the 1st of January. My first weigh-in was 334 pounds and something. I don't remember the exact tenths, but it's 334 plus. And my wife and I went on the keto diet then. And I'm not going to go into all the other medical, my cholesterol was this and my blood pressure was that and so on and so forth. But I had lost 46, 48 pounds. I don't remember the exact, almost 50 pounds. And I stayed on it for 2 months, and then I had shoulder surgery, and I needed that comfort food. I needed to stay fat. And we got off of it for a while, and then we got back on for a while. And we were looking for an excuse, not even gonna lie. So we're going to the Homesteaders of America conference, and we can't stay on keto when we we can't stay on keto while we're traveling. We could have, but we just wanted to take a break. And that was 16th of October. I haven't been on the diet since a couple days before that, and I'm already back up over 300 pounds. I was under 390, and I'm already back up over 300. So something's got to be done different. So that's the brainchild of this whole collaboration. B Lady Aviary number 992. I just wanted to say your whole name. I'm not a medical professional. I will tell you that mine and my wife's cholesterol were so high that actually did have my wife on cholesterol meds for a while. I refused them. And mine was worse than hers. And when we started this diet at the beginning of the year is when those cholesterol numbers were that bad. And when we got our cholesterol numbers retaken at, I'm trying to think when it was exactly, maybe August.
Yeah, maybe August.
My numbers were actually lower than they wanted to see them, which is, I'm trying. The diet is expected to plummet your cholesterol, bad and good cholesterol, and then your good cholesterol comes back up. My potassium numbers were so low that I was actually having chest pains, and they had me on a cholesterol, a potassium pill, and I'm off of that now. And that is helping my blood pressure regulate. And I refuse them because I am a person who believes medicine has its place, but we're not going to jump to medicine first thing. Let me try to fix things a different way. In this situation, let me try to fix things with my diet, and that is what I started to do. And that's for me and for those who that this diet is going to work on. All of your stuff is going to get better. I don't care what your problem is. If this diet is going to work for you, your medical issues such as low potassium, such as high cholesterol, I'm not going to say it's going to cure cancer. I'm not going there. That's not what I'm getting at. If this diet is going to work for you, then this diet is going to work for you, period. One of the, when you start eating a higher fiber diet, such as, such as almonds and walnuts, plus green leafy vegetables, your body just doesn't have a choice but to get better. I will be honest, I do not remember if that was what they suggested for me, or it was I can't even remember. I'd have to ask my wife because she knows that. I just quail eggs supposedly have no LDL cholesterol in them. I have not played any of those games before. Sorry, guys. I got a little help in the background asking questions. I haven't tried quail eggs. I haven't tried duck eggs that I know of. And all I'm going to say about it is I eat chicken eggs and my cholesterol is back down in order. But again, when you eat higher fiber items such as green leafy vegetables, such as almonds and walnuts, they're going to grab a hold. They grab a hold of cholesterol and take it out of your body. I also believe, again, this is coming from a non-medical point of view, I also believe that when your body is less inflamed, you're going to have less cholesterol. I've been reading a lot about that lately. Cholesterol is your body's response to inflammation. Well, the ketogenic diet is an anti-inflammatory diet. So there's just things to think about. And I do actually want to start trying other eggs. I'm just not there yet. Long story short. So we will go from there. Nathan, when I send you that email about the bowls that I mentioned the other night, I will send you something about maybe buying some quail eggs from you as well, because I am interested in trying it. My body is inflamed pretty much everywhere. To answer that question, B, I had shoulder surgery on this shoulder in March, and all we could figure is that it was inflammation, because the MRI, well, there was some other stuff in there, but nothing was injured. And my whole right arm to stay as inflamed, I can feel it all the time, especially in my elbow, and my shoulders coming back. But when I follow this diet, after a few days of it, all I noticed, it's very noticeable. This pain just starts going down. So it's a good diet for us, and it's a good diet for a lot of people.
Me too.
But my son just asked me for me too, my little sprout. I'm a firm believer that not one diet fixes everything for everybody, and there's a prime example is my two youngest boys have PKU and they can't eat protein. I mean, it's not that they don't get any protein, but I'm not going to go into all of that here. I'm just going to say they can't eat protein, therefore the keto diet would not be good for them. So, guys, listen, I want to wrap it up. I got other things to do today. I really appreciate everybody staying here with me this long. I appreciate you moderators. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you everybody for being here, period. Go through and look at each other, and if you see some content on one of the other pages, that especially that is in here that you might like, give it a view, and if it's something you can be down with following, subscribe to them. Let's help each other out. And if there are no, B, I do not have a regular schedule, though this seems to be a decent time. I have kind of looked at a few different times. This seems like this might be a good time for me to start doing some lives. So I'm going to consider it. I'm going to discuss with a couple of people and see if we can make that happen. That said, I hope you all have a great day. Remember, this is the day that the Lord has made. Rejoice and be glad in it. And with that, the Sprout family says thanks for being here, and we will see you next time. Have a good day.
Next time after that.